And given the freedom that we achieved from Mitzrayim, being relatively speaking the lowest of the low, but as Shlomo Melech says, there's nothing new under the sun. So at this very moment, we're in Mitzrayim. If we haven't reached the level of giving to give, we're in Mitzrayim. The fact that we don't have the Geula, and we are not in a time of a Torah world run by a righteous king, Melech HaMashiach, as our tradition teaches, also means that we're in Mitzrayim. It's all relative. But may we reach freedom speedily and soon. And the Creator wants us to obviously to have freedom, because the freedom entails our ability to receive His goodness, which is fulfilling the purpose of creation, of His desire to give goodness to creation. The Rebbe Shita continues, the source of the greatness of Israel is how they grew from the suffering they endured. We see from this that an individual can also become great by means of suffering. As the Psalm says, quote, blessed is the person whom you afflict, God. From Psalm 94:12. We naturally avoid suffering, but the truth is that one who is afflicted by God should feel joyful. First, because by virtue of our afflictions, we recognize the insignificance of our self-love and so get closer to God. Secondly, afflictions show us the need for faith, the need for emunah, which is the essence of the Jewish people, in contrast to the opposite being doubt, safek. Since they are unbearable without it, being emunah. Thirdly, our afflictions enable us to feel the suffering of others, to empathize with others, truly. So a quick note, I believe we've spoken about it, that as we understand the arch enemy of Israel is the nation of Amalek, which is a descendant of Esav. Esav, of course, also representing the will to receive ourselves alone within us, because all the nations in the world and all the names, characters, places, and details of Tanakh are details of inner processes that happen between and within you and I. So the Rebbe Zitzal, Rebbe Baruch Shalom Ashlag of blessed memory, says that Amalek is an acronym for Al Manat Lekabel, in order to receive. Our arch enemy is the will to receive for ourselves alone. That's important to clarify. The gematria of Amalek is the same gematria as Suffolk. And concepts and words that have the same gematria tend to have some type of connection. And if you try hard enough, some are easier than others, we'll be able to make those connections and see and connect deeper principles, and also see the greatness of the Creator, who implanted within His holy language, being Hebrew, an interconnectedness that is mind-boggling and awe-inspiring. There's nothing like it. I've heard from Rabbi Akiva Tatz, great speaker and thinker. He said that if you want to make anyone observant in Judaism, show them gematria. I think quicker than anything, I also agree, is that if you see the interconnectedness, it's amazing. You really see the greatness in the fine detail of the Creator, and that even so is still just chipping the surface. The Rebbe Shita continues, the desire to receive works on a market basis. The amount we have to endure is weighed against the amount of pleasure we may profit. We can work hard to fulfill our lust, but after we get what we want, we realize that it wasn't worth the effort. Our sages said that whenever we receive a measure of what we want, we then want to receive more. The suffering this entails can lead us gradually to spiritual advancement because we see that this business is not profitable and our suffering is getting us nowhere. After experimenting with different ways to fulfill our desire to receive, eventually we can see that the system based on the desire to receive is self-destructive. If we fail to enter the path of Torah and the mitzvot, then the greatness of the desire to receive can cause us to continually increase our chasing after pleasure until we fall exhausted without a breath of life. So our sages tell us that desiring, chasing after things like money, our lusts, and honor remove us from this world. One can understand that if you're involved and thinking about such matters constantly, that you're totally separated from the Creator. Where is the opportunity to have thoughts of giving and loving and emunah and the like when you're involved in those matters? At the same time, I've also read an idea that you can interpret it the other way, meaning to say that, yes, those things remove a person from a connection with the Creator because the characteristics of those things are intrinsically in order to receive ourselves alone. We want the honor, we want the money, and we want to fulfill our lusts. As opposed to being lustful, so to speak, meaning having a fiery passion and desire for the Creator's Torah and His mitzvot, or wanting to give Him honor as opposed to ourselves, or give our mentors and leaders and parents the honor that they deserve. And money can be used for a holy purpose. And whether it's just fulfilling the laws of Meiser, of giving our 10% or 20% max, or more than that if someone is exceedingly rich, and just a general mitzvah of giving charity, specifically when offered. If someone is asking for money, it's in our best interest in that moment to provide for them. At least that's how the law teaches us. So all these aspects can be reverted, transmuted, transformed into good. The same way the Baal Shem Tov says, there are no negative character traits. There are just character traits used badly. But intrinsically, all of the aspects of ourselves have holy kernels, most holy roots, because everything has the aspect of the Creator at its centermost point.